We're ready. Good. Hello, everyone. Sorry, I was distracted for a minute there. 1 o'clock comes early here now. Let's talk about vaccination progress. Waukesha County. Let's see, it's 1.5 today, positivity, which is good. State of Wisconsin is 2.0. So we're really, we're in the very low uh, area of spread. I don't remember what they call it on the website right now. But Waukesha County has 53% with one dose. That's a good thing. Wisconsin has 51% with one dose. So we're moving in the right direction. But I did see on the news this morning that if if we can live up to President Biden's expectation of what, 70% by the 4th of July, Budweiser is going to buy us all a beer. Uh, we have a long way to go. Um, I mean, there may be states that are way ahead of us and are going to bring the average up, but I also saw there were 6 states that are very, very low in the percentage. I can't remember, below, was it below 10%? Something like that this morning. So that's gonna drag the average down. But we as a county and as a state are moving in the right direction. That's a good thing. Um, we've relaxed a little of the mask mandates on the North Campus. Um, we are saying that visitors that are fully vaccinated no longer need to be masked in the building. Uh, and we are saying the same thing for patrons and visitors to our Cafe La Belle and members in our fitness center. Also, the mask mandate has been lifted from the Forgotten Treasures. If you are fully vaccinated, you need not wear a mask. And folks have asked me, well, are we going to ask to see their vaccination cards? And the answer is no. I mean, we cannot possibly go after everyone to see a vaccination card and to be sure they're fully vaccinated. I did suggest, and it was vetoed, I did suggest that on every sign after we said that, if you are fully vaccinated, you may not wear a mask. I suggested we put in only you and God know, but it was vetoed by the rest of the staff. And honestly, we just expect people to be honest and forthright when they come in. Um, I have to back up to last Thursday's town hall because something I said was misconstrued. And, um, all of these things, David archives all of these. So I can be held accountable for everything I say. And I was happy to go back and look at this, although I do feel that TV does put on 10 or 15 pounds when I look at myself. But that being said, I went back and I talked about the liquor license, and I talked about happy hour. And I talked about happy hour here in the nursing home. And I said that happy hour on Tuesday would go on, and anyone who could not come down, we would do carryouts. And we would do carryouts for them, and that is what the staff did. I did not clarify that. The other side of the campus, we cannot do carryouts because I did not apply for a license like that. We cannot sell something and let it be carried out from Rockwell's or the pub. Over here, we don't sell alcohol. We can, it is part of our liquor license, but we do not. We give it away for happy hour in the nursing home and the tower. So our nursing home staff delivers those carryouts or to-goes to the resident apartments. On the other side of the campus, we cannot do that. We have a liquor license just like anyone else in the town, or in the city rather, and there are some exceptions downtown because of the village green. They will allow carry-ins or that kind of thing of malt beverages down there. And that's a city thing. And the bars around there can pay I don't know what the fee is. There's an extra fee and you can do that. We are not one of those. Our license is a different license. There are only two of them in the city of Oconomowoc. And a little history behind that. We aren't like the taverns down the way where we make our living off of alcohol sales. The only reason we have a liquor license is because we bought a bar many years ago. We bought Plum Crazy. And when you buy that, when you buy a going establishment, you are entitled to their liquor license if you wish to use it. And at that time, we were building the Lake Terrace Clubhouse, and we said, how advantageous would this be for us to be able to sell liquor on a Friday night or special occasions and things like that? So we did purchase the liquor license from Plum Crazy. And about 7 years ago, the city came to us and said, you're really not using this liquor license to the best of our ability, the city's ability. So they gave us a special liquor license for our campus, and we have noted all the places that we could ever set up a bar and maybe sell alcohol on the campus. So that's the liquor license we apply for every year. That we gave up our Plum Crazy license so that they could license a new venture in Oconomowoc. So there's your history lesson for today. Plum Crazy used to sit right over here, kind of where the tower parking lot is. Plum Crazy was there, and then Oliver Construction was next door, and then were the apartment buildings. There you go. More to come on that. Denise isn't here, but I know on the 18th we are having a Father's Day gentleman's cookout, and Denise asked me to come and do this history of Oconomowoc for the gentlemen. So I will be doing that. We'll go from day one at Lutherland up until today here on the campus, and we'll talk a little more about that. Staff testing. I know all the staff is waiting to hear that they can get rid of the face shield and goggles and things like that. We're not there yet. We had a leading age meeting or a Zoom meeting this morning, and one of the things that the RN for leading age is that she is looking forward to some communication from DHS today yet on this. They have been pushing to repeal the goggles and face shield part of this, and we have not heard anything yet. So staff, I'm sorry. And again, the minute we hear something, you will hear something. We want that to be over and done with. Staff testing, because we are now a green county. Staff testing is twice a month. The next testing is the 14th. So, put that on your radar. Yes, only for our SNF, our long-term care staff. Town hall, this is just random, town hall archives. I did dig into it. David told me before where it's found. It's found on our website. You can just scroll down and it says town hall archives. I don't remember what tab it's under though, David.
Under Get to Know Us.
Get to Know Us. So if you really want to know what I said and hold me to it, you can go there, and I'm hoping I don't misspeak again or don't speak clearly. The LTA resident portal is there also. I believe the access to that has gone out to all the LTA residents, how to access it, what the password is, that kind of thing. That's where you're going to want to go. When new people move in, you're going to want to get on there and learn about them. Stacy Giddings will do a biography, and once it's okayed, it'll be posted there. You'll learn more about your neighbors. David?
We're also talking about adding some additional just information resources once they log in that may become available. So
Okay.
we're
So
talking about adding more to that.
there's more growing to be done on that resident portal. There'll be more information in there. As that's rolled out, we'll let you know so that you can log in and find all that. Um, we had a state surveyor on the south side of the campus today. Um, all of our buildings and entities on this side of the campus are subject to state governance. And today they surveyed the assisted living. That means they looked at the tower and they looked at memory care. They did not look at Hillside Terrace. We had a survey on that about a month ago or so, right, Emily? April 1st, April Fool's Day. Of course, I should have remembered that. You know, when a surveyor walks in, or when an administrator gets a call on April 1st saying the state is in the building, they do think it's a joke, but it wasn't. We passed with flying colors on that one today also. No sites, no tags. We've done a great job. So kudos to our management team and our care companions and RAs on this side of the campus. We're doing a good job. I want to talk a little about dogs. I don't have one anymore. We did for 14 years. And she was a small dog, and we kept her in our yard. Now, we have dog owners here, and folks have been approaching me on the fact that not all dogs are on the leash. And we have a lot of folks coming down to the lake now. We have, just as I was coming over here, there were several nursing home residents going over to the lake, some in wheelchairs, some walking. We have others that are walking out there with canes and things. I really need to stress, and Brian and I will talk about some further communication on this. I really need to stress that you need to keep the dogs on a leash, no matter what size they are, because all it takes is one dog to run out, even if they're not close enough, and a person to be nervous and fearful, and a fall. And a fall can be very, very tragic. So please, let's really consider keeping those dogs on a leash. I know that people will say my dog is wonderful, my dog is very, obedient. It still can cause a problem on the campus. So let's try to, try to respect everybody's rights. Let's keep them on a leash. I want to talk about trees. Got a couple phone calls this week on trees. Last week, they came in and took down those 3 big trees behind Lake Terrace that we missed somehow in calculating all the trees that were dead. And these trees, they didn't die over the winter. They were dead before. We just didn't recognize it. So we got those down. There's plans to flatten that all out and get it looking nice for lawn games and things like that. But we need to transplant or replant trees. And I want to talk about 2 things about trees. Number one, the city says that we need to meet a certain level of vegetation on the campus, not including grass. And when we do building projects, literally the city comes in and they measure all of our trees and they give different point values to all the trees. So I don't even know if box elder trees exist anymore. When I was a young kid, most of our woods around our house was box elder trees. They all died, and they count nothing because they're counted as garbage trees. But they look at maple and oak and the clump birch and ornamental trees, and they assign points to that. They also look at the number of perennials you have on the campus, and they assign points to that. And they have a matrix that says you need to have this many points for your size campus. We took down a lot of trees, and so David and his crew were putting in a bunch of trees this year. We did it by the garden here, we did it on the other side over by the retention pond, and yesterday, I believe, the neighbor did some on the north side of Lake Terrace. And I got phone calls, why are you letting him plant trees? And I can't really stop the neighbor from doing this because I can't tell you that it is on our property or his property. The property line is so close there. I believe, and this I did not have a chance to look up the plat book here, but the neighbors own at least 15 feet on our side of the road. That is a private road. It is on their land, and they own at least 15 feet on this side. I don't know exactly how far the trees got planted, but folks said, oh, they're going to grow and block my view. I guess I can't stop a neighbor from putting in a tree. They're going to do what they're going to do. The thing that I was recounting to Brian this morning was when we built Lake Terrace, and I don't know that we have any of the folks listening who may have even been here at that time. Part of the conditional use and PUD was that we have a physical barrier along that sidewalk back there to shield us from them and them from us. And we did it with lilacs and other flowering things. And unfortunately, over the winter months, the salt killed most of those things. There's a couple lilac plants out there, but that's it now. So it kind of all fell to disrepair. Not disrepair, but we just cut the lawn and didn't replace the vegetation. So the neighbors back there got together and planted trees. We took out a bunch of trees this year, and those trees, even though they're on the lot line or on the property line, will count toward our total count of green on the campus. So that's a plus. I know that folks who are going to look out at a tree aren't thinking of it as a plus right now. Sarah, anything from community relations?
Library Day is not this Monday, June 7th, it's June 14th.
June-
Second Monday of the month.
June 14th, Library Day.
9 to 10, Lake Terrace, 10:30 to 11:30 Tower Library.
9 to 10 at Lake Terrace, 10:30 to 11:30 Tower. I see a lot of folks using the library. That's a great thing. I'm really happy that they are bringing that to us. We don't have to go down there. Emily from the nursing home or assisted living over here. Again, congratulations on the survey. Brian, anything for the good of the organization here?
Just two reminders.
Two things.
I got phone calls over the weekend, if we could remind residents on both sides of campus, when they're renting the pavilion, to follow the rules. It sounds like the party that was over the weekend, didn't get out of hand, but just to clean up and make sure they had the dog running around as well, and just to make sure they follow the regulations
Okay.
and the rules that we have set out for.
Brian's reminding us that the pavilion rental is there for anyone to reserve, any resident on the campus. But we do have rules, we do have regulations. Dog, I don't know who might have been down there, but dogs have to be on a leash. They have to be supervised. They cannot be running all over the place because, again, it is the home of all the residents on this campus, and we don't want accidents to happen. So please be sure that you're following the pavilion rules. Brian has a second thing.
We had another incident with deliveries over on the north side of campus. Please make sure, when you do let people in, they need to buzz up, and deliveries are at the main entrance at 1340. And not to let anybody in, just to let them in.
Deliveries. If you are letting people in on the North Campus, if you're letting people in for deliveries, you have to be responsible for that person that you are letting in. Don't just let people in. We've upgraded the security there so that everybody has a phone that the entry guard will call, whether it's your cell phone or your landline, it will call you. You need to push the button to let people in. So make sure that if you are letting a delivery in, number one, they have to check in at the front kiosk. They have to be cleared. And if they're bringing it to your apartment, make sure that they show up. Don't let them in to drop things off because you don't know where they're going. Once they're in the building, it's your responsibility for that person.
Also encourage them, I can also talk to them, they can call me. So if the people are not reaching the intended party, they can call me and I can help them. So
Okay, we have, Amanda's saying they can call. The problem is we have got to put an EntraGuard number for you in that system. So, I'm not sure.
like from the east entrance.
Okay, so there is an EntraGuard number in there. Okay, what is it called? Do we know?
It just shows up as like the 1920.
Yeah, but I mean, in the EntraGuard, it will say, it will say D. Dalkey.
Yeah.
And that will ring my phone. I don't know what it says for Shorehaven reception. I don't think it can do Shorehaven reception because that's too long a word. I programmed all those in, so I know it can't say that. So we have to let people know what it says so they call. I do get EntraGuard calls. People call me at 6 o'clock in the morning, and usually it's the phlebotomy lab coming for blood draws, and they'll say, "Hey, I'm here to see Brian Polinsky. He's still sleeping. Can you let me in?" And all those people have contacted me and saying, "Hey, sometimes I don't get up early enough to let these people in." So if that's ever going to be the case, and you're going to have someone call me to let them in, you got to let me know, because I'm not going to let them in unless I have already talked to you about letting them in. Same thing with Amanda. If they're calling her, she's not letting them in the building unless somebody has approved it. We try to keep that building as safe for you as possible. David, anything for the good of the nation? Okay, Amanda, phone calls?
Shorehaven is getting happy hour back. We have our coffee back at Lake Terrace. When are we going to have that?
Oh, good question. That's an excellent question. And you know what? I had it on my list to talk to Brian about. The question is, if you didn't hear it, when are we going to have coffee back at Lake Terrace? Down, I'm sure they're talking about down in the lower level C. And Marilyn, if you're watching, I hope that you don't have to bring coffee down there anymore from your coffee maker. Can we start that on Monday, Brian?
Sure, I'll talk to them.
Okay, on Monday.
They were supposed to start it at Tuesday at Fellowship, and unfortunately,
Okay,
they didn't communicate.
let's get that started on Monday. So Monday, you can come down to the lower C and have coffee on Brian, okay?
Not on me, but
Not on him. Okay,
Another one.
okay.
Locker rooms in the pool. Now that it's getting more about people are perspiring, can we use the locker rooms to wash off people?
Good question. And the question is locker rooms at the pool. When will they open? And I don't know if Kira's listening. We do have to talk about that because I think the fact that we are now not mandating masks and things like that, we can open up some of those things. I think that we need to take a look at it. These things, this one creeped up on me. I honestly didn't think about it, but I'm glad to whoever called in, I'm glad you called in, because I will have a conversation with Kira this afternoon and we'll see if we can't get some of these things opened up a little bit. We are talking about, can we open aquatic classes and things like that. The mask mandate is up. Before we said it's very difficult to wear masks when you're in the pool. Now we can take a new look at that. So, yeah, I'm happy to do that. We'll work on that this afternoon yet. Anything else? No other phone calls? Very good. Thank you all very much. We will be in touch again next Thursday.